Okay. Mit Chag HaShavuos ein verbunden kam Inyanim. There are several things that are connected with the Yom Tov of Shavuos. The first and foremost is the time of the giving of the Torah. Der Inyan Miteichen Ikri von Shavuos is, das was ist nicht, wie man sagt, in Nusach HaTfilah VaKiddush, Zman Matan Torah Seinu. It's the time that Hashem gave us the Torah. Und Afal Pi, as in dem Pasuk, was redt wegen dem Yom Tov Shavuos, wird den ganzen der Mond der Inyan von Matan Torah, even though when the Torah talks about Shavuos, it doesn't mention a peep, it doesn't mention a word about Matan Torah. It says just count 50 days. And the 50th day is Mikra Kodesh, is Yom Tov. Noch mehr, in der Zeit, wenn man hat gewege, wenn die Chadoshim al Pi Ariyah, in the years when the time of the Beis HaMikdash, when witnesses used to come and testify that they saw the new moon, and that's how they decided when Rosh Chodesh was. There was no fixed calendar. Then the 50th day of the Omer was in dem Tag is Chag HaShavuos. That's the day that Shavuos is. It's unlike any other Yom Tov. Every other Yom Tov has a date. Every other Yom Tov is Rosh Hashanah is the 1st of Tishrei, Yom Kippur is the 10th, Sukkot is the 15th, okay, Pesach is the 15th of Nisan, but Shavuos is the only Yom Tov that has no date given in the Torah. It's just count 49 days, and day number 50, boom, is Yom Tov, is Shavuos, okay, which actually is the reason for a different question as well. The fact that the other Yomim Tovim, we have a question as to which day it falls out on, which the people don't know when Rosh Chodesh was. But Shavuos was 2 months, was 50 days, close to 2 months before we started counting. Okay, so we knew exactly when Shavuos was going to fall out. So the question is why we have 2 days of Yom Tov for Shavuos, and the answer is Lo Plug. The rabbis didn't want to make any distinction between one thing and another. Okay, so in that time though, when there was not a calendar, was so the Yom HaChamishim, the 50th day of the Omer, okay, that you can't ausfallen nicht in dem Tag von Matan Torah. It could have fallen out in a day other than the day that Hashem gave us the Torah. Wie the Gemara sagt, as the Gemara says, Pa'amim Chamisha, Pa'amim Shisha, Pa'amim Shiva. Sometimes Shavuos could fall out on the 5th day of Sivan, sometimes on the 6th day, and sometimes on the 7th day. Und das, was wir sagen in Shavuos man Matan Torah Seinu, ist es der Fall, was ist die Kfies von Shavuos allemal b'shisha b'sivan in Tag von Matan Torah. Why do we say Zman Matan Torah Seinu in davening? It's because it's always falls out on the 6th day of Sivan, on the day that we received the Torah. That's when Shavuos falls out on now, because we have a fixed calendar. From deswegen, now it's possible to have the same thing, to have Shavuos fall out a day earlier or a day later, because if someone crosses the international date line, if he loses a day or gains a day, so it'll be his 50th day of the Omer, either one day before or one day after. It's for everyone else. So he would celebrate Yom Tov. He would daven Yom Tov tefillas. He wouldn't be allowed to do the malach you can't do on Yom Tov, and you have to dress with Yom Tov clothes and eat a suda and make kiddush, and he wouldn't have to eat blintzes, but that's optional. Blintzes and cheesecake, that's something that's optional. But what he wouldn't do is say Zman Matan Torah Seinu in davening, because it's not. It wouldn't be true. Von deswegen, nevertheless, steht doch in Yerushalmi, it says in Yerushalmi, as der Tam, was bei der Korbanos von Hatzera steht nicht in Pasuk der Loshen Chet, that the reason why the Torah doesn't use the expression Chet, a sin, when it's telling us about Shavuos, as Evi by Korbanos von the Andre Yom Tovim, as it does when it discusses the Korbanos, the sacrifices that were brought on the other Yomim Tovim, is as well, Mikiven shegibaltem aleichem ol Torah, mal ani aleichem ki ilu lecha tasem mechem. Okay. Since you accepted upon yourself the yoke of my Torah, so I consider it, Hashem says that I consider it as if you never sinned. So it doesn't have to mention chet regarding the sacrifices. It's doch der von gedrungenes Atzeres in was für Kvies soll nur sein, is verbunden mit Kabbalas HaTorah. Whatever it does fall out, Shavuos is connected with Matan Torah. Der noch mit der Sachter später ist in Shavuos zugekommen noch an Indien. The Histalkus von David HaMelech, wie steht in Yerushalmi, David meis Batzeres. In the Yerushalmi, it says that David passed away on Shavuos. So we see that many generations after Hashem gave us the Torah, Shavuos had a connection, developed a connection to King David, to David HaMelech. V'hine in Bavli steht, as Histalkus David is given b'Shabbos, the Histalkus of David HaMelech was on Shabbos. U'lechera loitem klal as loy badu Pesach ken atzeres yom chamishim ve'echad nitzayin be'Shabbos. According to the rule that the first day of Pesach cannot be Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, so the 50th day cannot be Shabbos. Okay. He says 51 days because it's 51 days from the first day of Pesach, because we begin counting Sfira on the second day of Pesach. Okay. Af al pichein is das kam meforshim nidon them came machlekes zwischen Bavli v'Yerushalmi. Nevertheless, according to different various meforshim, there's no difference of opinion between the Bavli and the Yerushalmi. But then miskaveya, okay. HaChedesh al pi Ariya can sein Pesach b'yom Vav u'v'meila atzeres b'Shabbos. When at such a time that we initiate the Rosh Chodesh, according to witnesses coming that they saw and telling us that they saw the moon, and the Sanhedrin it's fixing the first day of the month on a different day. Before there was a fixed calendar, so it was possible for Shavuos to fall out on Shabbos. So there is no argument between the Bavli and the Yerushalmi, even though the Yerushalmi says that David HaMelech passed away on Shavuos, and the Bavli says that it was on Shabbos, and Shavuos can't be on Shabbos. That's now with our current calendar, with our fixed calendar. B'yameinu atzeres b'Shabbos is shaykh nor b'chutz la'aretz b'yom tov sheni shel Golias b'zayin b'Sivan. Now, Shavuos on Shabbos is only possible on the second day of Yom Tov. Und noch später b'deres ha'achreinim, and then later still, many generations after that, in dem Zman von Erev Shabbos noch halben Tag, in dem 6,000-jährige Tag von Kiyum Ha'olam, ist zugekommen noch ein Indien in Shavuos, des Tages von Baal Shem Tov, in dem ersten Tag Shavuos, Shishi B'Sivan. Okay. Many generations later, we reach the point the world is divided into, just like our week is divided into days, our world is divided into millennia. Okay. Millennia. And that's why we're in, right now, it's Friday, it's Erev Shabbos, and halfway through this millennium was Erev Shabbos in the afternoon. And Erev Shabbos in the afternoon is already close to Shabbos. You don't say Tachanun. You're supposed to taste Shabbos food. So we have to have a taste of Shabbos. And the same way, the Baal Shem Tov made it in such a manner that we have a taste of Mashiach because of the Baal Shem Tov. As is known, the famous story that the Baal Shem Tov had in Aliyas HaNeshama, his soul went up into the highest places in Gan Eden, and he went to the chamber of the Baal Shem Tov, and he asked the Baal Shem Tov, Emasai Kosimar, when are you coming? And the Baal Shem Tov told him, so when your fountain spread forth to the outside. So that's, Chassidus is a taste of, is a taste of Mashiach. Now, we see that Shavous is connected with three different things. The first and foremost was the giving of the Torah. The second is David HaMelech. And the third is the Baal Shem Tov. Alles was kommt vor in Welt ist doch b'hashgacha pratis. Whatever happens in the world is by divine providence. And we call shchene zachem urais und in yanim nailim gematen Torah, especially such high things, such special things as the giving of the Torah, see the stalkus from David HaMelech, the passing of David HaMelech, and from Baal Shem Tov and of the Baal Shem Tov, David HaMelech and the Baal Shem Tov, and certainly the giving of the Torah, is something that relates to every single Jew throughout all generations. Is b'meila verstandig. From this we can understand as die drei inyanim wie bald sie sein gewen in demselben Tag. These three things, since they all happened on the same day, haben sie zwischen sich eine Nekuda mishutefes. They all three of them have to have a common denominator. Das heißt, that means to say, as der Eloi was hat sich aufgetan b'shas matan Torah, is there noch gekommen lidei Giloi Yoser durch David HaMelech. We had a great revelation at the time of the giving of the Torah. That revelation became even more revealed through David HaMelech, und der noch mehr begiloi, and there was even a greater revelation durch den Baal Shem Tov, through the Baal Shem Tov. We need to understand the connection between the three and how each one continued and brought down the revelation, increased the revelation of the one before it. We'll understand this by first understanding the words of the Medrash, regarding the accomplishment of Matan Torah. Amar David HaMelech said, Afal Pisha Gazer HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaShemayim Shemayim L'Hashem V'Aretz Nasan Livnei Adam. Even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that heaven is God's domain, and the earth He gave to us people. But Kishabikesh Litan HaTorah, Batal Gzeira Rishona, He nullified the first decree. Okay, V'Amar HaTachtenim Yalul El Yenim, that those that are below will be able to rise up. V'Al Yenim Yerdul L'Tachtenim, and those that are above will be able to descend into the lowest realms. Bani HaMaschel, and Hashem says, I'm the one that's starting the ball rolling. I'm the one that's starting it out. Shenemar, as it says, Vayered Havayel Har Sinai, that Hashem went down onto Har Sinai, descended on Har Sinai. Uchsiv, and it's written, Val Mersha Amar Alei Al Havaya. To Mersha said, go to, come up to Hashem, come up to me. From then, so Hashem came down, and Moshe Rabbeinu went up. Von dem, was der Medrash ist, macht dem Hatachtenim Yalu L'Elyonim Far Elyonim Yerdu L'Sa'achtenim. This, that the Medrash puts, that those that are below will be able to ascend higher before it tells us that those that are above will be able to descend to the depths. Af al pi, as Revieret Havayel Har Sinai is given far der Alei El Havayet, despite the fact that Hashem came down in Har Sinai before Moshe Rabbeinu went up. Und wie the Medrash Gufa sagt, Vani HaMaskel, the Medrash itself says that. Hashem said, I'm starting it off. I'm coming down into Olam Hazeh, into this world. It's verstandig, it's understood, as der Iker Kavanah von Bittul Hagzera, the main point. Both are important points. Both the ascent and the descent. Both the Ruchnis coming down and being absorbed in this world, and Gashmi is being able to go up. Our being able to go up and go into higher worlds and be closer to Hashem. Okay, but the main kavanah, the primary intent from Bittul Hagzera, is their inyum from Hatachtenim Yalu L'Elyonim, is the idea that those that are below will rise to the Elyonim, to the higher places. Was hat sich angefangen b'peil erst noch Matan Torah, which began first after the giving of the Torah, after Hashem gave us the Torah. Es ist nur, was b'chtei die Tachtenim sollen kennen Oilo sein, it's just that in order for us to be able to go up, sollen kennen, it's because hat gedarf sein freier der Vieret Havayel Har Sinai, Vani HaMaschel. It had to first have that Hashem came down onto Har Sinai. Hashem had to begin it in order for us to be able to rise up. Und das ist der Bier Hasheiches zwischen der ersten zwei Inyanim von Shavous, Matan Torah und Histalkus von David HaMelech. That's the connection between the first two ideas of Shavous, the giving of the Torah, and the Histalkus of David HaMelech. B'shas Matan Torah hat sich aufgetan b'peil uve'ikar der Inyan von Halyonim Yerdu L'Sa'achtenim. Und der Inyan is given b'shas Matan Torah b'tachlis hashlemus. At the time that Hashem gave us the Torah, so it was absolutely, totally accomplished, the idea of those that are below, those that are above coming down below into this world. And that was totally complete. Was das ist der Aufruf von der Yerida. This is what the Yerida, what the descent accomplishes. Und Gilui Elokus, and the revelation of Elokus into this world, Milamaylu Lamata, from above coming down into this world. Was is given b'shas Matan Torah, gabi der Gilui Elokus, was is given far Matan Torah. That's the difference between the revelation of godliness that we had at the time of the giving of the Torah to the revelation of godliness that we had beforehand. Hashem revealed himself to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. We find it says, Va'era Elov Hashem be'elonei mamre. It says that Hashem appeared to the Avos, but it was a totally different thing. It was not at all the same sort of revelation. Der Gilui Elokus was is nimshach geworden in Welt far Matan Torah. This revelation of godliness that took place in the world before the giving of the Torah, euch der Gilui was die Avos haben mamshach geworden, anhebendig von Avram Avinu, also this Gilui, which began with Avram Avinu, was given there was Sicha lahar. He was the one that began illuminating the world. Is given beruchnius und hat nicht durchgenommen mit der Gashmius von Welt. It was a spiritual thing. It didn't take over. It didn't take hold of the Gashmius, the physicality of the world. Masha ein kein der Vieret Havayel Har Sinai. It's not the same thing when Hashem came down onto Har Sinai, by the giving of the Torah. Was given b'shas Matan Torah hat durchgenommen euch die Gashmias von Welt. This was able to enclose itself into all the physical objects of the world. Via steht in Medrash, as it says in the Medrash, as b'shas Matan Torah, Sipra leitzavach, efle, para, chulu. It affected the entire world to the extent that birds didn't chirp and birds didn't fly. Everything was affected in this world. Until that point, until the point of Matan Torah, there was that gzeru we mentioned before, that decree we mentioned before, that Hashemayim Shemayim Lashem, heaven is Hashem's domain, and Haaretz Nasam Livnei Adam, He gave us the earth. But that now, once the Torah was given to us, so the earth was able to absorb the revelation of godliness. Okay, biz as hakol shahayis mipi HaKadosh Baruch Hu lehay l'kei baskel, to the extent that this booming voice that came out from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Anochi Hashem Alekecha, I am the Lord your God who took you out of the land of Egypt, this booming voice did not have an echo. Mitzadem was der Kol is nikla geworden und hat sich eingesabt in alle Nevraim, hat bemele nicht gehabt, kein Wiederklang Basko. What's the idea of an echo? The idea of an echo is a sound consists of vibrations, and when the vibrations bounce against something, when they hit a solid thing like a mountain, a wall, and they bounce back, they reverberate, and that causes an echo. But Hashem's voice, as so to speak, was absorbed by the physical world. So it didn't bounce off of anything. And from Demos on, is Torah loy b'shamayim. From that point on, Torah was not in heaven, but rather it was specifically here in this physical world. But after all of this, is b'shas Matan Torah given b'peil, plays the hamshach of yiridim ilamayil ulamata. The only thing that really took place at the giving of the Torah was that was actual, that was factual, was the Hashem descending into this world, Hashem coming down into this world, the spiritual, the godly, becoming one with the physical. But the fact that we should be able to rise up, we should be able to ascend, the Zichuch und Aliyah in Welt Gufa, the purification and rectification of the world itself, das hat sich angeheben noch Matan Torah durch der Aveda von Yidden. That was something that began after the giving of the Torah through our divine service, through our service of Hashem. Was sie seine Mizachech die Gashmias von Welt und machen sie für Keli zu Elokus. That is what purifies the world and makes it a vessel, an appropriate vessel to be able to as so to speak, hold Elokus godliness. Und b'shas Matan Torah is nimshach geworden der koyach der Aveda. What did we receive during Matan Torah, during the giving of the Torah? We received the potential to do that. Und geschehen wie der Rinim von Halienim yerdul l'sa'achtenim. And just as the idea of those that are above coming down into this world, afal pi as hat sich angeheben durch Avram Avinu, despite the fact that it began with Avram Avinu, hat es aber genommen im Meshach Zman von Kamederis. It took 7 generations, bis es gekommen betachlis hashlemus, till it was complete, till it was perfect. It was fine. B'shas Matan Torah durch Moshe Rabbeinu was gewend der Shvi kol hashvin chaviven. It wasn't something that was complete until we came to the seventh generation from Avraham, Moshe Rabbeinu, who was the seventh, and all sevenths have a special are precious. Al derech zeh, similarly, is eich b'negei tachtonim yalu le'elyonim. The same thing is that regarding that those of us who are down here in this physical world and all the physical objects in this world, to our ability to be able to climb up, was angefangen gleich la'achrei Matan Torah, which began immediately after the giving of the Torah, as the Halah hat genommen in Meshach von der Sachteres. This took quite a few generations. Und sie ist nishlim geworden durch David HaMelech, and this became completed through David HaMelech. Was euch werd angerufen Shvi, he's also called the seventh. He was the seventh of his brothers. Und noch mehr begiloi, and it took place in a more revealed form durch Shlomo HaMelech, through his son Shlomo, King Solomon. Was das gewesen kein Mesira ba'ashle Musa, it's in his time was said that it was like there was a full moon. The Jewish people count by the moon, not by the sun. We have a lunar year. It's actually a combination between lunar and solar, which is why a few times every few years we have to add an extra month to the year for them to catch up. A pure lunar year is 11 and a fraction days shorter than a complete solar year. So it has to even out because Pesach has to be in the spring. Okay? But this reached its the epitome of what it had to be through David, and even more so through his son, King Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech. Was ir inyan is halam milamatal maila. Okay, that what is this? It's the raising something from below to above. How did this happen? Through David HaMelech and through Shlomo HaMelech, through the building of the Beis HaMikdash. Okay, the Beis HaMikdash was a place where Hashem was totally revealed. It was a stone, a building made out of stone, and the stone was godly. Every step, every part of it was godly. And David HaMelech wanted desperately to build it, but wasn't given the opportunity. His son had to actually build it, but it's still called in David HaMelech's name. It's still called by the name of King David. And David drew up the plans, the architectural plans for the building of the first Beis HaMikdash. He sat learning with Shmuel Hanavi, the prophet Samuel, exactly what has to be in the Beis HaMikdash. Okay, and where this will be continued with Hashem's help tomorrow night.
Yeshiva Torah Ohr of North Miami Beach.